We want to bring in NBC's chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, who, of course, is just back from the front lines in Ukraine. Richard, this quickly became the Oval Office outburst, seen, heard around the world, obviously in horror in the eyes of many European allies, those in Ukraine as well. What is the reaction in European capitals and in Ukraine to what we just witnessed?
Well, I think you had it exactly right. First, it was shock. This event happened pretty late last night. So the European capitals were already into the evening. They didn't really react to it in real time. But now, with the passage of a little bit of time, that shock has become horror. And you've seen almost every European country, big and small, put out some sort of statement saying, we express solidarity with Ukraine. You can never blame the victim. You should blame the aggressor. Germany, in particular, taking a very strong stance. One legislator there saying that he was shocked that the United States could stab an ally in the back. Now the Europeans are trying not just to show Zelensky's support, but they're trying to potentially replace the United States as the key diplomatic player, the key backer of Ukraine. And Keir Starmer in the UK, you said Zelensky just arrived in London. It is because the UK is now trying to organize an emergency summit. And Zelensky did put out a series of messages this morning on social media, thanking President Trump, thanking the United States repeatedly, but insisting that they need security guarantees. They can't just take Vladimir Putin's word for it that he will stop the invasion, that he won't invade Ukraine again. Ukraine said, and President Zelensky has said time and time again, Putin's words aren't to be believed. They're not to be trusted. We need security guarantees. President Trump clearly doesn't want to provide them and had this outburst when Zelensky kept pressing the point, and he was called, being disrespectful to the office. Europe is now trying to turn its shock and horror into some sort of action, but it is not likely, Peter, that the Europeans are going to take this burden and be able to shoulder it alone. They still need American participation. It is the essential partner. So then,
Richard, is there any hope that this gets repaired, that this relationship can get patched up?
Well, I think it really depends on whether this incident was a setup. Was he ambushed? And some have suggested that. Many people I've been speaking to have suggested that that Trump and Vance were looking for a fight, and that President Zelensky rose to it. If they were looking for a fight and they got one, then it would be unlikely that you're going to have any real reconciliation. And what we just saw was a definitive break between President Zelensky and the United States. If it was just tempers and emotions that ran high, big personalities all in one room, then it is possible. But in Europe, they're not sure. In Europe, they're saying maybe this was the definitive break. Maybe this is time that Europe needs to try and shoulder this burden for their own sake as they watch how the United States treated an ally in a time of need.
The one person certainly celebrating is Russian President Vladimir Putin. Richard Engel with the very latest for us. Richard, thank you so much.